Good evening and salutations, my Jade fans. Well, when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And when I'm wrong, I will admit it. Yesterday in the live stream, and I was at the reading comments today, people was there telling me, and they were telling me this for a while, okay? That Holly and Robert are setting up a ruse. You know, everything from her burning in the fire to the whole, her Robert being drunk and let Holly escape with the necklace and stuff like that was all ruse. Because Robert couldn't be that stupid. Okay? Robert couldn't be that dumb. And everyone was right. The whole thing from her, coming out the coming out the cabin all burning and stuff like that to the drunken mess that Robert was in there acting like was all a ruse. And when they transported Holly's body in the ambulance and Robert went with her, when they stopped, Felicia was right there and they talked about how they set the whole thing up from the stove being, blown up and everything like that, all the way back to the Metro Court. So the whole thing was a ruse, and the whole plan is to, fix the medical papers and transport her someplace or whatever where, she's going to be taking like intensive care and long rest and recovery time. This way she can, continue to try to get her son back. So it was a nice little send off, and I will sit there and say that throughout this process, I give Jage a lot of credit because this is stuff that I didn't see that my other subscribers did see as far as the way that Holly was acting, um, showing us a breath, the way she can always stand up, stuff like that. And they were really accommodating towards her, stuff that she's dealing with. So I give them a lot of props for that. So the whole thing was a ruse, and I think I was the only person that was surprised, despite people sitting there telling me the whole thing's a ruse. Trust me, to work together, and I'm just like, nope. Robert's just that dumb. So am I. So that happened. Now we get to the Savoy scene, and this is with Britt, Ava, Nicholas, and a couple other players. Britt bumps into Ava, right? And Ava's like, "Yo, what's going on?" I'm sitting there thinking, I was like, "Britt, you might want to slow down and drink a little bit." Nicholas comes in there, and Britt starts having some sort of pity party or whatever. Um, Now, throughout this whole thing, it seems like from what everyone looks at her, it looks like she's really drunk. And there's a point where Miss Wu and Victor stop their conversation to go over there to check on her because, like, she can't stand and, she looked like she's kind of wasted. But Britt's like, no, I'm fine. I only have one drink, this, that, and third. And she keeps yelling at them like, yo, I'm good. And then Victor's like, it's not the alcohol, is it? You must be sick or something. Realizing that, Faison's daughter and everything like that, he kind of put two and two together pretty fast. So at this point, Britt lashes out, and Liesel and Cody come in there to kind of stop it. Like, Liesel punches him in the face, and Cody just kind of manhandles him away from the situation. Before that happened, Liesel was there trying to pay off Cody just to kind of like, leave Britt alone. And, she's going through a difficult time. She needs a mother. So how much do you want to sit there and just kind of kick rocks? And, Cody's like, no, I don't want money or whatever. I thought I wanted both. I couldn't get both. And now I just want her. But, Liesel's not really having it. And Cody's like, yo, what's wrong with her? Like, what's going on with her? Of course, they stop the conversation to kind of break up the whole little argument with Britt, Victor, and Miss Wu. Also turns out that Holly gave Holly gave Miss Wu something in a vial to give to Victor. Like, it wasn't supposed to kill him, but it was supposed to do something. gave her a piece of the necklace as payment. And at first she's like, "Yo, listen, I can't have any deaths coming to that club." He was like, "No, it's not going to kill him. I don't need him dead because I need my son back, but it's going to do something to him." And I'm very curious to find out what it is. Whatever it was, she gave it to him. Said something about the nine circle of hell or something. She kept repeating that more than once. So I don't know what that's about. Um, Chase broke up with Brooklyn because at this point, the lies, it's just too much at this point. And I'm gonna be honest, I was happy that he did that. He gave her a chance to explain herself, and she gives this BS excuse. And the long story short, she didn't tell him because his badge would get in the way of them being together, taking out Link, and his singing career. And Chase was like, "Listen, I enjoy doing it and stuff like that." The issue came as the fact that he didn't give her a choice. I mean, she didn't give him a choice. She decided for him. He was like, "Yo, listen, I tried to do something like that. I tried to control a situation. It didn't work out, And he's like, "I'm not doing that." So he just broke up with her. And you see her just sit there crying and everything like that. And I don't want to sound like a dick, but I'm like, "Boo, this is all on you. All you had to do is sit there and be honest. All you had to sit there and do is be honest. Sit there and give him the choice. Hey, listen, you review things coming up and write you a letter to kind of get you reinstated and let him decide if you want to sit there and continue singing." And she was like, "Listen, I don't want you to abandon the batch forever, just for a little bit." I'm like, I mean, granted, I think he could have probably did both, you know? Obviously, him being a cop would have took priority, but it's not like he would have been like, "Hey, listen, if I can do it, I can do it," or whatever. And they still could have had a good time, but she wanted what she wanted, and she felt like what she wanted was more important than what he wanted. So it just showed a level of selfishness within her. And granted, she was like, "Oh, this is the first time I felt this way." And she kept talking about intimacy a couple of times, and I'm just like, and Chase even, Chase, I guess he took some blame from it because he was like, "Listen, we should have decided right then and there. We were either going to be together, we are just going to be business partners, or whatever." But it clearly trying to do both was not going to work out in our interest. Anyway, he broke up with her. She cried. I stood there and was like, "Nah, bro, this is your fault. You deserve all the tears that's coming down your face." I know that's the dickiest thing to say, but I mean, seriously, she was being super selfish. So compared to what I said, it's kind of tame. Trust me, I could sit there and say a lot worse. Then the last stuff I want to sit there and talk about was pretty much the Trina, Marshall, Portia, and Curtis stuff. And the reason I wanted to do that is because, well, it wasn't really that interesting. I mean, Portia was sitting there asking Marshall, did he want to sit there and take the genetic counseling? But, Marshall was like, "Well, what's the point? I already know my diagnosis is. Like, what's going on? Like, why are you asking all these questions and stuff like that?" I feel like it's one of those things where I know this wedding's supposed to be in February, and it's kind of a long time. I mean, February 14th is kind of a long time. And she's already starting to slip with asking these questions that are just kind of out of left field. Trina was upset with Curtis again for a little bit because, she's very cooped up in the house, and the minute that she tries to sneak away, Marshall's there. So after they talk and Curtis gets in there, Trina's like, "Here we go again. What did I sit there and tell you about boundaries?" And Curtis is like, "Yo, listen, my house, my rules. Okay? While you're in this house, I need to sit there and protect every person in this house. And that includes you. As long as you are here, this is how it's going to go. Especially with Esme just running amok. Um, this is where you need to be." So at first, she was sitting there getting a little angry and annoyed and everything like that, but she realized that, he was coming from a good place or whatever. So it didn't really go anywhere. She ate some pie, she smiled, and Pretty much kind of just dropped at that point. It's like she was mad, angry, and then, ooh, pie. Okay, I'm good now. I want some pie right about now. Um, yeah, I think that was pretty much about it. I mean, Portia and Curtis were talking about really nothing anyway. Honestly, to tell you the truth, that was literally the least exciting part of this episode. Like I sit there and say, as a whole, this episode was good. It was good. It surprised me. Um, and again, I can admit when I'm wrong. Now, I saw a little bit of previews yesterday and seeing, Victor and Miss Wu together, and I was just like, why? Like, what business do they have with each other? But it made sense towards the end. Hell, even when I was watching the beginning, I was like, what does Miss Wu and Victor have anything in common with? Like, why would they need to sit there and cross paths? But the whole Holly thing explained it. Um, yeah, I can't really think of anything else that I missed. This was a good episode, all in all. So, with that being said, I'm going to go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe, and I'll see you in the next video.